is able to hear me? Everyone is able to hear me? So today we are going to see the fourth tool, which is called SLF4J, right? So which we call it as SLF4J. I'm sharing my screen. SLF4J. So how many of you heard about logging? See, for example, in a Java program, if you remember, I will be putting system.out.println, right? Right. And then I have some try batch, try code. Then I'll say catch exception. Remember, we'll have this kind of thing. See, what is the use of putting the system.out.println? What is the putting this one? So by putting like this, we'll be knowing the flow. That means whenever method one gets executed, this gets printed. So that means when this gets printed, we know that this got executed. So adding system.out.println, adding system.out.println will, in the code, will help to debug the code, when the program is running, right? So we can see the flow. Like suppose, like the method one called Okay, from method 1, method 2 is called. Example I'm telling. Okay, like that. And suppose if we get any exception in the try-catch block, if we get any exception in the try-catch block, we print the stack trace of that. Okay. In the try-catch block, if we get any exception, so we can print the stack trace. Stack trace of the stack trace. In the try-catch block, if we get any exception, we can print the stack trace. But in the real scenarios, see the system.out.println, it is okay that you can use in your whenever you are running your program in your laptop or in your machine. But when you move the code to server, or when you deploy that to a production environment, it is not recommended to use system.out.println. Because what system.out.println will do, it will print in the console. That means when the program is running, system.out.println will print the messages in the console. Okay, system.out.println will print the messages in the console. Console means your output screen. But in the real environments, in the real production environments, okay, don't use system.out.println. So we need to use loggers. We need to use loggers. So what is loggers? What are loggers means? Loggers are the components that logs the messages. Okay? That logs the messages, all types of messages. Whether it is normal message, error message, okay? Any type of message, it can log. Suppose if you are getting any exception, no need to use ex.print stack trace, you can use logger, where it prints the error message. What kind of error it has? It's error message or exception message. Okay. And in Java, there are different kinds of libraries to implement the loggers. Okay. So in Java, there are different kinds of libraries. There are different kinds of libraries to implement logging. Okay, so now we have Java code. So now to implement logging, there are different kinds of libraries. Okay, so I'll tell you what are the different libraries. Okay, we can use simple logger library. We can use simple logger library. Okay. Next, we can use java.util. java.util.logger library. Java.util package is having a logger library. And very popular library, I think you all might be knowing that, which is log4j library. Right? And there is one more popular logging library, which is a logback library. Logback library. How many of you heard about these libraries? In this, I think you might be knowing log4j library, very popular library. Right? Yeah, I forgot. Today I'll upload the Mammon notes and all that. Okay, today I'll upload that. So these are the different libraries. In that, the most popular is this one, the most popular library. The most popular library is log4j. Even this is also most popular. After next, logback is also another popular library. Right? So now, in order to implement logging, so that means we will not be using system.out.println. Now we'll be using loggers. You might ask the question, why system.out.println is not recommended in the real environment? That is when we move the code to production or in the servers. Why this is not recommended and why loggers are used? See, system.out.println means what? System.out.println means what? It will print the messages in the console. Console means when the program is running, at the time the messages are printed on the console. See what happens if, for example, the program completes. You will not see the messages on the console, right? Only when the program is running only, you can see the messages, right? That is agreed or not in system.out.println, right? Once the program completes, okay? Once the program completes, you cannot see the messages in the console. Everyone agrees for that. Whatever you write the code in system.out.println, that messages will be printed only when the code is running. Everyone agree at that, right? Right? When the program stops running, you will not see the output, right? Fine. So, but I want to actually see the messages even after the program stops, or even after the program stops, and even after the next day also. Say, for example, my program is running. program running, and system.out.println will print the messages. Will print the messages as long as the program is running. Program is running. Now, similarly, ex.print stack trace will print the exceptions in the console. Now program stopped actually. Program stopped. So I come next day and wanted to see what errors, messages the program has printed. Because I want to see the issue, what is the error, what is the flow of my program. The next day I come. Will it be there? No, because the program stopped. Okay, you closed the window. So all the output screen got vanished. You cannot see any message. You come next day and wanted to see what errors message the program has printed. You cannot see the messages. Right? This is where loggers comes. That's why in production environment or in the servers, you should not depend on system.out.println, because if any error comes, if you use system.out.println or ex.print stack trace, okay, you cannot see the error the next day. What happened yesterday? What happened day before yesterday? You cannot see that errors. Right? That is where these loggers comes into picture. So once you close the console window, all it has gone, all that output has gone. Right? So loggers, what they do, loggers will save the messages, errors in the log files. Okay, and these log files will be there forever. Till we delete. Okay, we can open the log files. And see the messages, errors, all that, and we can debug what is the issue happened. So that is the reason loggers play a prominent role in logging the information and errors in the production environments. Okay, so to implement these loggers, we have different kinds of libraries to implement in Java. One is simple logger library. Another is java.util.logger. Next is log4j library, logback library. Okay. Now, see, not only single file. Okay, I have a project. Okay, now I have a project. I have a Java project. So this Java project contains multiple Java files, right? So this Java project contains multiple Java files. So these are all your Java files. Okay. So this Java project contains multiple Java files. And in all these Java files, we'll be implementing any of these libraries for logging. So in all these Java files, we will implement any of the logging library. Okay. Either we can use simple logging library, java.util.logger, log4j library, logback library. Any of the libraries we can use in all these projects. Any of this. Suppose, okay, I start using logback library. So in all these projects, in all these files, I'll tell you how we will use. There are some classes, methods we use. So in all these files, we use this library to implement logging. So in all these files, say example, in all these Java files, we use a logback library to implement. So we use logback library to implement logging. That means how we use logback related classes, methods in our Java classes, and log the information, log the error. So we use logback related classes, methods in our Java classes, and log the information, log the error. Log means, when you say log means, we are sending that to a log file. I mean, we can send that to a logging means we are sending that to a log. Instead of system.out.println is what? We are sending that output to the console. So when we say log means we are sending that log, our message or error to the logging library. That logging library, what they do, or logging class, what it will do, it will log that, it will save that logs to the files. You know, there is an option also. The logging library can print the logs only in the console, just like system.out.println, or it can save the logs to the file also, so that the next day when I come, I can see what happened yesterday. So that file will be there in the system. Wherever your program is running, the file will be there. I'll show you that practically. Okay, so now we use logback related classes, methods in our Java classes, and log the information, log the error. Fine. Now tomorrow, my project manager told that, see, don't use logback library. We need to switch our logging library to log4j. So tomorrow, manager or architect told that switch the logging library from a logback to SLF4j. So tomorrow, manager or architect told that switch the logging library from log4j. Still, I did not tell SLF4j, right? So log4j. That means this one, log4j library. Okay. Tomorrow I want to switch this. I want to change this logging library to this. Why I want to switch? That is my architect or manager decision, because this is log4j library is more flexible when compared to this logback library. So I'll be switching now. Now what happens when I switch? Now I want to change my Java classes, right? These Java classes also I want to change. So now there will be change in the Java classes. There will be change in the Java classes. There will be change in Java classes. So wherever I'm using logback related classes, methods, okay? Now we will be using log4j classes, methods. Okay, now we'll be using log4j classes, methods. That means log4j related classes. That means we have to change all that to log the information. That means suppose there are, say, 20 Java files are there. in all these 20 Java files, I'm using this logback related methods and classes to log the information. Now tomorrow, this logging library is changed. So I want to change all these Java files to switch on to this library. This is a new library. So I want to switch this to this library where actually I want to change all these Java files to this log4j library. Right? So where it will be changing. Now this is a difficult effort, right? This is a difficult effort. So this is where SLF4j. Now, if you see, this is a tight coupling. This is a tight coupling now between the logging libraries. Now, this is where your SLF4j comes. So this is where your SLF4j comes. So now, what is an SLF4j means? SLF4j is an interface to multiple logging libraries. So this is where SLF4j comes. It is an interface to multiple logging libraries. Yeah, just 1 minute. So it's an interface to multiple logging libraries. Now we see here. Now I have a Java program. So there are multiple Java. So I have a project. So in that we have multiple Java programs. Okay, all these are Java programs. All these are Java programs. Now I'll be using in all these programs SLF4j library. SLF4j library. So I'll be using SLF4j library methods, classes to log the information. And now this is an interface to multiple logging libraries. Now SLF4j library can work with log4j, logback. See, the actual implementation now will be any of these libraries only. Logback, log4j, log4j, java.util.logger, java.util.logger, and then simple logger. Simple logger, right? So now you can say this is an interface. So there's an interface to all this. That means, say, for example, my Java programs, see, ultimately, there will be one implementation to this. Okay. Suppose my Java programs can use SLF4j plus logback. So SLF4 is an interface, and these are the implementations actually. Okay. So my Java programs will use SLF4j plus logback. Logback as an implementation library. Now, tomorrow, I want to switch from logback to log4j. I want to switch from logback to log4j. Now, you know, you don't need to change anything here. You don't need to change anything in the class files. Only you have to change the configurations, but you don't need to change in .java files. So my .java files, used logback, uh, as a logging library with SLF4J interface. Okay. Now tomorrow, if I need to change, from logback to log4j, then just to change the configuration. I'll show you this practically how. No need to change in the Java files. No need to change. Just to change the configuration. No need to change in the Java files. So this is what actually SLF4J will tell. So this provides flexibility in switching. You don't need to change the Java programs, but you can switch from logback to log4j to this one, to any of these libraries without changing the Java programs. So this will take care of everything. That's why this is called interface actually. That's why this is called interface. Okay. So this SLF4J is an interface to all these logging libraries. Interface to all these logging libraries. And we can easily switch. And without changing Java code, we can easily switch between one logging library to other logging library. Okay. Okay. Everyone understood what is the intention of SLF4J? So I'll just give some brief differences. SLF4J is log4j same. That's what I told you. Here SLF4J can work with any of this, either log4j, logback, or log, or anything. This is an interface to any of these logging libraries. Now I'll give you some. Just 1 minute. Just one. I'm getting one call. Yeah, sorry, I got a call actually. Sorry, I got a call. So what is the difference between SLF4J and Log4j? You can think like SLF4J is an interface. Log4j is like an implementation. You know what is the difference between an interface and a class, right? And a implementation class, right? So SLF4 is like an interface and Log4 is like an implementation. Okay. Now, see, my Java programs will use SLF4J library methods, but the implementation can be a logback or Log4j or anything. And tomorrow, if I change this implementation class from Log4j to logback, I don't need to change these Java class methods. It is a loose coupling, correct? Loose coupling. Loose coupling. Okay. See, it is like this actually. I'll show you this. Now I have an interface SLF4J. In this, I have log method, right? Now I have class logback implements SLF4J. Okay. Now I have log method. So this is like kind of, I'll have some logic here, right? Now I have class log4j implements SLF4j, right? I'm just giving an example. Okay. So I'll say void log. Now I'll have log logic, something logic. Okay. Now I'll write some logger factory. Class logger factory. Now I'll say public SLF4J get logger. Then I'll say return new log4j. Now in my class A, what I'll do, I have a method one. Here I'll say static. Here I'll say logger factory dot get logger. Logger factory dot get logger. Here I'll say logback logger. Okay, logback dot get, or we can select, sorry, SLF4J, not logback, sorry. SLF4J logger. Now I'll say logger dot log. Is this a kind of a loose coupling or not? Now when I say logger dot, what is logger factory dot get logger? That is returning a log4j, which implements SLF4j. Now when I say logger dot log, this log4j log method is called. Now tomorrow I want to switch now from log4j to logback. I need to change only at this place. I need to change only at this place. Now no need to change. Now no need to change. Okay, now no need to change. Here you see. Tomorrow I want to switch from log4j to logback. At this place it is changed enough, right? I don't need to change here. Now when I say log4j.getLogger, now it will return instance of logback. Now when I say .log, it will call this one. Everyone understood this type of structure, how this works? If I want to change anything from log4j to logback or logback, only at this place it is enough, right? I don't need to change in this a.java or b.java anywhere. Everyone understood what I wrote here? Any doubts? Any doubts here? Any doubts or any questions here? Now, is this a kind of loose coupling or not? Straight question. This is a simple core Java question. Because you're all from Java background, right? Is this a kind of loose coupling or not? If anyone is having any doubts, just let me know. Is this a kind of loose coupling or not? Yeah, I want responses from all of you. Because I see only just 2 or 3 responses and many are. Okay, you can think like that. Okay, the same way. Correct. Now, I'll now tell you the differences between the logging library and system.out.println. See, system.out.println will send the messages only to console. Next, log libraries will send the messages to console, file, database. So I can say example. Okay, log libraries will send the message to console, file, database. Third one. With system.out.println, we can capture or we can print only the message inside it. Like for example, system.out.println, whatever the message I give, this is test. Only that message, only this message is printed. This message is printed. Okay, with logger, we can capture date, time, method name, class name, along with message. So with logger, we can capture date, time, method name, class name, along with message. How I'll tell you. So along with this message, we can also capture the date, date of the current system date, time, the method name, from which method it is coming, from which class this is coming. Everything we can capture. So just to see these differences, once just read it. Any doubts here? I'll be showing you practically how we can see this. All this I'll show you. That means this part. Any doubts here? Any questions? So tomorrow, I'm going to explain you the log4j library without using SLF4j. That means without using the interface. SLF4j. And then I'm going to use log4j library using SLF4j. So tomorrow I'm going to explain you this. I'll start tomorrow. All right, then any questions till now? All right then. Okay, tomorrow we'll connect then. Yeah, classroom full. I'm not sure. You have to connect with the Supriya madam. I'm not sure on this. Admin, you have to connect. All right then. Thank you all. See you tomorrow then. Yeah. I think I shared already this. So many times I shared actually. I sent to everyone. Just see. All right then. Okay. Thank you all. See you tomorrow then.